It is. It's podcast day. We're excited. We're digging out there. What have we got? Ooh, yes.
Dude, it's fucking podcast day.
Takes you back to that time when you remember what you were doing when you first listened to that album, or
What is going on, you champions? That's right. Yes.
What up?
Podcast day. Two dudes talk music. Yes, and stew. I've been stewing on this shit all day.
What is going on?
Yes.
It's that time. It's that time. Podcast time. Yeah, spill the beans, man. Spill the beans. We want it. We want this. The exclusive
Yeah.
details.
What is going on, you champions? Oh, dude, I am so keen for this one. Okay, we got some announcements. Let's get into this first. If you haven't already, you need to get on, like, subscribe, whatever you need to do on this Twitch thing to get into the running for these Gymna Rocks tickets. We got one double pass giveaway to Gymna Rocks. You got to get on there. Come on. Get your tickets. Second of all, Raph is back next week, I'm pretty sure. So it should be a good time. You ain't got to look at this ugly mug no more. Third, it's a long weekend, so I'm faded. We're having a good time this week. Oh, but without further ado, this band I've wanted to get on for a little while on this platform because I've had them on my other one. I've had them on Beer Buddy. But now they've had their show. They played Kaiju Fest. They got it out after the 2021 release of their double CD, 20 tracks. Oh my lord, 20 video clips that went along with it. It's phenomenal. So tonight we have one of the members from SOTO on. We have the great Cherv McSweeney. Please, brother, give us a big shout. How you going, dude?
Good, man. It's great to speak to you again.
Man,
It's been a while.
it has
Lots
been...
happened.
Dude, a lot has happened. Please tell us what has been going on in the SOTO camp.
Well, I guess we had it was like Kaiju Fest was awesome. Just off the bat, because that was sort of our first chance to actually do like a bigger show on a bigger stage with a bit more sort of production. We got a couple of friends come and help out, friend family. And yeah, we had a sick time. Had a great response from everyone. Everyone was, there was just a lot of love in the room, a lot of friends, bands, and yeah, we just had a killer time. So then we just sort of had decompressed after that, had a bit of a break, you know, and try not to watch the news too much and get too depressed about everything. And then yeah, recently we've just been hitting it again and just not really, after rehearsing hard for a show that you've kind of, you know, made a bit of a production for, and it's a show, it's good to just relax and jam and just let some new ideas come out. So that's what we've been doing, just writing at the moment. So we got a couple ideas that are pretty saucy. So
Ooh, I mean, I can only imagine what's going to be coming out after Matter. I mean, it's still regular on my play every week. I mean, Retrograde, their whole album hits so well. But I mean, coming off the back of that doubles, because I still talk about, I'll tell this to bands, go check out SOTO, go check out the videos I've made on them, because the merch pack you guys bring out was just phenomenal. I still use your pen. My pen just ran out. I use it that much. You know, me and my wife still use the earplugs that you guys sent us on the reg. You know, every time we go to shows.
Handy,
the tote bag sits in my media room just so I can look at it all the time. The lanyard has sat on my keys ever since the day you guys sent it to me.
Nice.
Like that is my lanyard I leave on my keys all the time. You guys are leagues above what a lot of bands are doing. And I mean, was that, as a 3-piece especially, has that expanded firstly, But as a three-piece, if you guys still are a three-piece, how did you guys come up with that whole marketing, like just the whole merchandise venture on top of the 20 tracks that you brought out? I mean, that's a mammoth amount of work. Take us through a bit of the whole
Yeah.
process.
I don't know. I guess as the songs were coming along, and we were sort of starting to get the idea of how sort of complex they were, layers and parts and everything. And you have this thing when you send a mix off to a mixer who is just a working mix engineer, and they're used to churning out a certain type of sound and a certain kind of thing. A lot of our tracks, we would send them to them and they were like, Jesus, I don't know what to do with this. Like, there's so much going on here. What's what? I can't tell up from down sometimes. So we kind of like started to get into a bit more of the DIY thing on the music side and take over the reins of a lot of that stuff ourselves. And then I think that having a bit of a win with that and getting somewhere with it kind of made us think, well, what else can we do ourselves? You know, instead of just ordering t-shirts to get printed somewhere. You know, it'd be cooler if we came up with the design and then we were able to like source our own shirts. And then, you know, it got to the point where it's like we're there on the weekends, like having a band practice, and then we're screen printing shirts afterwards, having a beer, you know? Yeah, we screen printed all the shirts ourselves. Because we don't order them somewhere else. We make those. So when you get the shirt, it's the band has screen printed it. Yeah.
You should sign them all. Just put a little something in there. Because I tell you what,
we get all these we get all the warranty returns.
Yeah,
well, people like, oh man, I got it still scribbled on.
That's it. That's it. It's a bit of merchandise, or just at least one of them, so someone has that one, the one of one. But yeah, I mean, like,
I always get weird. I get weird about signing.
No, don't ever, man. I love
it's a strange thing to do.
You guys signed my CD. You guys signed the CD that you guys sent me, which was a beautiful gesture. Like, it was so nice, and like little collections like that mean so much to now a fan like me, you know. And it's as much as I like to turn around and say that CDs are just like a dying thing at the moment, realistically. But when you bring out a double CD and it's 20 tracks and you do what you guys did, it hits a little bit different. Like, it just hits a little bit different when you can open it up and pull out two CDs and you just get all that content in one go. And the shirt, like the shirt you guys printed was absolutely amazing. It's a conversation starter. Like, you guys put so much thought. How did you come up with the design for the whole "Don't be a CUN"? Like,
it was a bit
where did that concept come up?
It was kind of an accident, really. Like, I don't know. My mum was a UN peacekeeper.
Really?
Yeah. So she did a stint of UN peacekeeping in the Mediterranean for a while when I was sort of at the end of high school. So like that, I don't know, that logo and the look of that thing's always sort of been kicking around in the back of my head. And I think we were just fiddling around with just sort of pun ideas of certain things. But that one sort of really stuck, just because I've just found it to be like quite Australian in like the tone of it almost, you know, like it's something that's kind of uniquely Australian, you know.
100%. It almost borders on that "see you in the NT" thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it works so well.
That literally happened today at work. Like, one of the guys at my work, he was trying to be nice to the delivery guy that was taking the packages out. And he was like, "Oh yeah, mate, I'll see you next Tuesday." We were like,
yeah, to be fair, it's really bad. I pick up my kids on the Monday or the Tuesday. And I'm like, all right, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Tell us what you really think.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're amazing people. I shouldn't say that. They take good care of my kids. They're very good. They're very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, coming off the back of the 20 tracks, okay, the 20 tracks, you had the Kaiju Fest. How was the reception all in all at Kaiju Fest? I mean, it was really, from what I saw in the photos on the socials and stuff like that, it was a real culmination of friends, family, like you said before as well. But it was even so much that wasn't it Alexa's sister sang with her on
Yeah.
that day, and it was Brad Bromfield
Yeah.
that was up there on that weekend from
Yep. Brad
Nuclear
got up with
Vision.
us. Yeah,
Like
yeah. Brad's
it
like
was
family
it was a
to
real
us.
family
So
event.
it was. It was awesome. It was like, it was awesome. Like there was a couple of bands that I was keen to see that I hadn't seen before. I haven't even met them, and just went to see them on the day, and everyone just played awesome, and everything sounded great in there, and just having a great time. You know, it felt like that was, everyone's been banging on about how live music's back, but that was when live music was back for me. Like it took it, you know, that's when I was like, oh shit, it's back.
Yeah, you were in
You know,
it.
like,
You were in
you
it,
know, and
man.
it was like real life. I was like, oh look, all these people are here, and like we're all listening to bands, having a great time again. Like, so, but it was a love in that gig, you know, because Chaosis we've known for a good long while as well. So, and
Big
yeah,
shout out to
CJ,
CJ for
CJ, yeah,
yeah, he's actually helped us
CJ
out
and
in a
Brad,
couple.
like those guys
Dude,
are like family to us now. So
CJ's helped us out in a couple of streams that I've done for the last couple of weeks while Ruff's been
yeah,
overseas.
he's
He's
a
a
legend.
legend, man. He's the
He
nicest bloke
had
in the world.
he had so much to do with Kaiju Fest being a success. Like that guy should be well and truly proud of himself for how that gig panned out, because he worked his little keister off for that thing, and you can tell like when you went there, it was just everything ran so smooth, and the bands were all stoked on the way they were treated and all this stuff. Like it was you know, CJ being an absolute legend to everyone.
That's
Totally
good.
walked off his feet on the day, just like he was just cooked.
And then he
You
had
know,
to
there was
back
so
up
much
and
going on, and
play with Nuclear Vision because their drummer's car crapped out.
yeah.
So it was a whole.
Well, he did. I think he did a few songs with them, but I think their drummer was still there, and I think their drummer actually got up and did vocals with Brad, and it was the two of them, and then CJ jumped in the back when and it was sick. I think Nuclear Vision at the moment sound the best they've ever sounded. Like,
that might
it's
have.
it's a new I know.
It's got to do with the
As a
homies, man. It's got to do with the homies. It's got to do with that guy
But
right up there.
It's just good. It's good to see those guys just go on, like, you know, like every time you see them, it's like, whoa, holy shit, look at them go. Like they're doing good things. Brad's a legend. So.
Man, and you know, I met Brad at Gymna last year. And you know, like we just hit it off straight away, you know, like we're both dirty Canterbury supporters, so we just hit it off straight away. Like,
yeah, you'd have been family. In
yeah,
like 10
we bleed
minutes.
blue and white, man. Like it's so good,
Yeah.
and just the music was just the icing on the cake and stuff like that. And it's so good to see that they're going leaps and bounds now that they sort of found Raff and Zach or Null
Yeah.
whatever they call it now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. How does it make you sort of feel now going into your writing process, into your next step? Because it's going to be a big follow-up. I expect it. Like, I'm sorry, but as a consumer, I expect some big follow-up. Like,
Yeah.
What's going on?
totally
What's going
get
on in the camp?
I'm the same. I'm the same as like a fan of music. I'm always like, oh shit, the second one's gonna be, it's gonna have to be some shit.
Well,
Like,
you brought out two.
You know?
The problem is you brought out two in your first go. You could have like. This is what gets me with you lot. Like, you guys could have just bled this whole thing out. Waterfall released the whole thing. Spread your love across the Spotify and really work the algorithm over the last 2 years from when I've spoken to you. You guys chose to deep dive into the double release and do it the old school way. And
and guess how many songs from that double release we played at Kaiju Fest?
How many?
0.
You played all new.
One. Yeah, whole set was just new.
Wow.
Whole set was just new stuff. So you played a whole new set of new stuff. So we've been kicking around a lot of stuff. We're not in any shortage of stuff. But
Well, quite clearly not.
yeah, but I don't know. We just kind of felt we wanted it. It felt like a new. I don't know. Felt like a new sort of chance to get back on stage, so we wanted it to be like new. So we got like Lex's sister to come in, and Lex's sister is an amazing little singer. Like it runs in the family for sure. And then we had our friend Ethan, who's like Ethan John. He's an amazing, like, there's no word to describe properly what Ethan does, but he's like just a artistic sort of visionary in a way. Like he does fashion and he does art, and he just, he likes to create like little worlds, and he got up and did a bit of like a performance sort of character on stage whilst we were playing. So it was fun. There was a lot to look at. I don't know, we just felt like it would be more of a show with 3 people, big old stage like that. So and Lex and the sister singing together, because she came and did the whole set with us, so it was great. They were just like harmonizing like weapons.
Wow! So you literally played nothing off your double album. You've gone into so okay. So I'm looking in your background.
Sounds
right
crazy,
now.
doesn't it?
Well, I'm looking in your background right now, and I'm like,
this is where we
dude,
rehearse.
It looks like a
everyone's
recording
here in
studio. Aside the sink, you got everything, and the kitchen sink.
And the kitchen sink. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Can we talk about what's coming up?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's starting to take form, but it's not really like we're just following the breadcrumbs at the moment, I guess, and what we're coming up with we really like, but we've come up with a few different ideas that are all totally kind of different to each other. So like there isn't sort of like a strict vibe for a collection or anything as yet, but we don't even know what the next thing will be, whether it'll be a collection or a single or an EP or tracks or album, don't know. But the main thing with that last album, it kind of felt like, it's like what they say, you always spend such a long time writing your first album, and then once it's kind of done, you spend like that much time writing the next one. So we have been writing stuff for ages, so like those songs are old, like really old sort of to us. So
yeah.
And then we played the set with all new songs, and it was a bit like, oh, should we do that? And then we did, and it went over well. So then we just kind of stayed on that vibe. So we have not really even played the old songs like since we were rehearsing for Kaiju. So like we've just been getting together and playing new stuff and working on new ideas and just trying not to get in the way of it. Really, like, because sometimes I think if you play your old stuff all the time, you got to do it and practice before a show, of course. You know, but yeah, sometimes I think it's good to leave some of those ideas there.
I don't know, man.
Just kicking around in your head when you're trying to come up with something new.
Some of the relevance of some of those tracks, man. There's just they're so relevant. Like,
yeah,
like I don't know. Like at the end of the stream tonight, I like to put on a video clip. So we're gonna put on Retrograde.
Oh, cool.
And it just like
still topical.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like it and a lot of the songs hit so hard, like so hard. And I
mean, all that flex, really. Yeah,
well, it seems a shame to leave some of it behind.
Yeah, I mean, we're not leaving it behind, I guess. Like,
if you're not playing it, you're leaving it behind.
Well, we're not saying we're not going to play it. That's it, I guess. Like, it's just that particular show was kind of a bit of a hurdle for us to get across because it was the first one post-COVID, and we really wanted to kind of, you know, if say, for example, no one had come to the show and it was poorly attended, and you get up, play to an empty room, and drag all the gear and leave. You know,
that was never going to happen with CJ running the show. That was never going to happen.
Of course, but like we just didn't want to be like go up there, just play the old songs, and then go you know. So even if it was like that, we could have just put everything into a new sort of show.
Yeah, that makes sense. At least
so regardless of who was there, we could have been like proud of doing it, I guess. Yeah.
But
sounds silly, but I'm romantic about music like that.
no,
Like,
dude, I completely understand every single bit of that. I mean, you walk into this sort of, from what I've heard offhand, you know, it was a big step for you guys to get back on stage as SOTO, and it would have been like having everyone around you, like I said before, and people that are basically like family. It would have been a big culmination into what it is now. And I guess
Yeah.
in a sense, it is nice that when you brought out that double, you know, the 20 tracks and stuff like that, you can sort of put that in the basket and move on from there.
yeah.
And now,
I'm still real proud of them.
yeah. I mean, no,
Yeah.
like I keep saying, no one else in the industry that I know at the moment, for their first lot of tracks, has done 20 tracks, 20 videos, double CD, merchandise pack that absolutely caters for anyone in the stratosphere. You know, whether you know, it sits so well. You guys are so far ahead of what a lot of younger bands are doing in that sense. It's just, I guess, time and personal life that sort of gets in the way of getting through to the artistic nature of what you guys can actually flourish to.
Yeah, and I guess it's like the way the world is and everything at the moment. You know,
Yeah.
doing music, it's something you kind of need to be doing because it feeds you, like it feeds your soul, kind of thing. Like if you can't be, well, you can certainly write stuff to get on the radio if that's what you want to do, but it's
Yeah.
not going to feed your soul, really, is it?
No.
Like, and I'm not sort of saying that bands that do that are any less of a band. I just mean it's more like you're making a decision how much you want to play the game, and
Yeah.
in some respects you got to play the game. You know, like it doesn't matter who you are. You know, the whole point of you making the art is for the most amount of people to see it. So like you've got to look into those avenues, even if they're a bit shisty.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to like you got to play the game. You know, like you got to get the stuff out there. You got to, you know,
What do
push
they
it.
always say? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Exactly.
And that's the bottom line. I mean, at the end of the day, every single musician that we've had on here, the first thing they say is that they write music for themselves.
Yeah.
It's up to the populace to receive that music in the way that they so wish, in the weirdest sort of way. But like I keep saying, anyone that hasn't gone out there and listened to Matter on Spotify, you can go get it on Spotify, go listen to it. The 20 tracks are absolutely amazing. It even has meditation tracks in there. Go listen to it. Go listen to it.
Yeah. Chill out.
So we sort of touched on this before. Where did the whole, like, do you guys sort of keep that mental health sort of concept going on and moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, you know, times are tough and everyone's sort of going through it at the moment, especially with everything that's just happened and the way the world is at the moment. It can kind of seem hopeless at times, more so than it has in recent times, I guess. There's certainly been bad in the past, but like, you know, at the moment it feels particularly negative out there. So like, I think just, you know, if switching everything on, turning inwards and just remembering all the things that music made you love about it when you were, you know, a teenager discovering it. Like, I don't know if you were listening to Metallica or Green Day or something, but like those things that blew your tiny mind back then, that's most like, for me, the driving force to keep doing that kind of stuff, because like, I love music and I'll always do it. But the rewarding part, I think, out of sharing music is, you know, seeing how it impacts those people. And if they have that positive response to your music, it's like insanely satisfying, you know. And it's
Oh.
not got anything to do with radio play or any of that kind of stuff. And like it's all about like how it connects with the person and respect of your peers and all that kind of thing.
Mm.
Like, so I guess we've just been on that sort of idea, is to not lose sight of that and just be honest with the music. Like just really let what is inside us to come out. So try not to get in the way of it and just be honest about it. So like if something seems fruity but we like it, it stays fruity.
Good.
You know, like,
Well, I mean,
and that's just always been the idea. We haven't decided ever to make a particular type of song.
well,
is why
at the
they're
end of the
all
day, what I've always
weird.
said to any band that walks out there and wants to create a little bit of controversy, if you're going to do it, lean the fuck into it. Lean right the fuck into it. Stand your ground and lean right the fuck into it, because at the end of the day, your artistic nature is a representation of what you believe in. So if you're going to fucking bring it out, lean the fuck into it.
Yep. And some of my favorite artists of all time are the ones that were just, they meant it the hardest. They weren't like the greatest, they weren't like the most badass guitar player or the most kick-ass singer or something. They were like, they just really meant that shit. You know, like, and it totally translates.
Oh, and the worst, like, the funniest part about it is it's like when people found out what Rage Against the Machine were raging against, and then they got upset. Do you know?
Yeah, I saw all that. It was pretty wild.
You know,
people are like, well, if you're gonna get all political now.
Well, literally, they're very smart people. Like one of them has a master. What are you drinking tonight, Cherv?
It's a Cricketer's Arms session. I'm keeping it sensible.
Dude, that Cricketer's Arms. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that is a Cricketer's Arms was a pub out my way.
Probably is it? I was gonna say, is it a Woolworths beer?
No, it's a pub out my way. We used to have a pub that we used to go to called the Cricketer's Arms Hotel in Eastern Creek.
Well, there you go. Brewed in Melbourne, it says.
It's not. Okay, it's not that. Yeah. That upsets me. We used to go to this pub back in the day called the Cricketer's Arms Hotel, and what was the best part about it was the drive-in cinemas were right near it, so you could actually see the screens. So you could tune like if you brought a radio, you could tune your radio in, sit there,
just get on the frequency,
and drink beers and watch a movie. It was the best. It was so good.
Glorious.
It was so good.
Rotting the system in the best way.
Yeah, well, either way, you know, everyone was having a good time. The Cricketers' Arms didn't mind; they were getting their money.
That's it. Excellent.
Let's get in to one of these segments. Let's do it. Let's take Cherv on the journey of one of the Two Dudes Talk Music segments. We're going to get into the quick question quarter. That is my first one. That is my cutaway. That is what we're going to. Right. Quick question quarter time. For all of you that have never joined us before, the quick question quarter time is where we get to know our guests a little bit better. It's rapid fire questions. We hammer them out. We try and get nice, quick answers. First answer that comes to your head, Cherv. Let's get into this. That one. Cutaway. All right, Cherv. What is the first instrument you ever learned?
The guitar.
Ooh.
It was weird. I mean, I had a nylon string classical guitar that was way too big for me, and my parents couldn't afford a smaller one, so we just put a capo, which is like a clamp that goes on the fretboard at the end, and then I had a left-handed teacher.
Oh.
So I was like trying to play like this, and I was like, I suck at this, and then I stopped, and I stopped playing, and then I picked it back up again in like, I don't know, grade 7 or something like that. Probably trying to play a, I don't know, Everclear song. That's dating me.
Oh, it's not dating you. This will date you. What was the first album that you ever purchased? And not the one that you like, the one that you were like, I need this album. I want this album. This album has to be in my collection.
First album, well, I didn't. When you're 8 years old, it's not your money, is it? If you
No, I'm
ask for
talking
your
about that
parents to
one
buy
that
it.
your
Is that a
parents.
thing?
I'm talking about that one that
Not
your
what your
parents didn't
parents
want to
want.
buy you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
know
You know that
one.
one that
Yeah,
Mum, Dad,
yeah.
I really
I
want
know
this
exactly what
album.
it is. Yep, I know exactly what it is. So that was "Life Is Peachy" by Korn.
Yeah, what a fucking album!
Yeah.
What a fucking
Yeah.
album! Oh yes! What a
Man,
fucking album! What a
outrageous
fucking
album.
album!
Yeah, I just remember going. I remember exactly where I was the first time I heard it. Like
Do
literally
tell.
where I was standing.
Do tell.
Like,
Give me the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd heard Adidas
Oh,
on the radio, and it was the edited version.
yeah, of
So it
course.
was like it was the one that said "humping" instead of
Yeah,
the cuss words.
sex.
But and I thought that was ridiculous because before that I was only listening to like grunge stuff, pretty much. Like it was Pearl Jam and Metallica and Soundgarden.
Yeah.
But I'd heard that and it was just like sonically ridiculous. Hadn't heard anything like that before. And then I got the local bus to the local shopping center, and I went to the HMV record store,
Yes.
which I later worked at.
Yes.
And they had those listening station things.
Yes.
And I just remember, and I just like took it up to the counter and was like, "Can I please listen to this album?" And they put it on for me, and I just because the track one's at Twist, which is just just him scatting,
Yes.
like metal scatting.
No one ever done it before. Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're like some impressionable young person who thinks that music is like the end of the world, and then you go and you just put the headphones on and you hit play, and then that comes out, and you've never heard anything like it before. I just remember losing my shit.
Oh.
I just couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, there's nothing more I have to do in life than own this album.
Oh, that
I
makes
need
dude.
to figure out a way.
I am.
I need
I
to
am
figure out a way to get it.
I'm a
And
corn
this is
fucking
gonna be the blueprint of my
tragic.
life.
I'm a corn fucking tragic, man. I love corn so much. Like
Yeah.
that makes me so happy.
They moved the fucking needle of heavy music. They
They
at
did.
the time. Like
They did.
there wasn't stuff like that before, and there was
No.
heaps of it after.
To me,
So-
it was like them and Deftones really set the tone for new metal in the next, from like 94 to say 2004, that 10-year period. They really
Yep.
set the tone. The only difference I'll probably say is Deftones probably captured me a bit more in the later years as much as Korn, but I was so happy when Head came back.
Yeah, definitely. It was like everything in its right place.
Yeah, the only thing I'm missing is really Dave. Like, Ray, I love you.
Yeah.
You're a great drummer. You're just too good for Korn. No offense. Like, Fieldy needs to be there more.
Yeah, there's something about that. The older you get when it's the band, like if they have any ring-in players, you're like, it's that guy.
No, like, but
You know?
that's the thing. Ray's
What's that guy
like,
doing? He's not in the band.
but he's so good. Ray's like so good, but it's just
Yeah.
like he's too.
He's
good.
always the new guy.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he's been in
always
the
got-
band
yeah.
for like how long?
He's so
always
good,
the new
but
guy.
he's so
Yeah,
good.
he is.
He's such a good drummer. He's so good.
Yeah.
And he deserves
Lex-
every single
Lex met
accolade
him
he
in
gets.
Lex met him in America or something. At some
Oh, really?
It was lovely. Yeah.
I hope-
She said he was a champion.
I'm really happy he's a nice guy. All right, what was here we go. We'll get into the age thing a bit more. What was your first live concert? The one that made you want to be a rock star?
Oh,
Not the Wiggles.
yeah. I mean, the first live concert and the one that made me want to be a rock star are different concerts.
Give me both.
But my first live concert was Shirley Bassey
Ooh,
at a casino at the Gold Coast.
so that was
My
obviously with
parents
mum and
took me.
dad.
Yep, with mum and dad. And then when I was 8 years old, I pestered my mum enough, and she took me to Vanilla Ice's Extremely Live 1991 concert at Festival Hall in Brisbane. and I wore my sweetest tracksuit and had a great time.
And you stopped, collaborated, and listened.
I did. And it was everything. It was like the sequin jumpsuits, the dancers, the cuts in the hair, and it was
Dude, that
I was
is-
8. It was
that-
incredible. I
that
was
is
8 and I was like,
you were
"This
8.
is
You were 8 years old.
amazing." Yeah.
Dude, that is a first. We have never had anyone say Vanilla Ice. You take like that is the best live concert.
Yeah.
You take it. You
I
take
was
it.
no.
You take it.
I was lucky. I was real lucky. Like I was born in Canberra, and my parents moved to Brisbane when I was sort of pretty young, when I was 6, and because they didn't know any babysitters and didn't really trust them, they took me to all these concerts. So like, yeah, I've seen a stupid amount of stuff.
So
It's
like, what else were you exposed to since like off that comment? What other shows did you sort of go to off that?
They took me to the Highwaymen.
I have
So,
no
so-
idea who that is.
Okay, so the Highwaymen is Johnny Cash,
What?
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, all like.
So
together
you
as
you
one,
went
as
and
a
saw
band.
the first country supergroup.
Yeah, I sat on
What
the
the
floor.
fuck?
and
I knew. I know
was on
all
the
those
floor
people that you
at
just said.
Boondall.
I never knew they played in bands. That's like the Rat
Man,
Packet
you need to
country.
listen to that. You got to listen to the Highwaymen album.
The
It's
Hi-
incredible. It's
I
incredible.
haven't, my
Highwaymen.
SOTO pen run out. I
Yeah.
haven't got another pen.
It's like this grey album cover, and they kind of look like Mount Rushmore. They're like they're like in the clouds.
Dude,
But
I'm
it's
in.
awesome. They all do each other's songs, and then they have new songs that they've done together. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
Yeah.
privilege. What
Yeah,
else?
I know. I saw In Excess with
No.
Michael Hutchence. It was the show before the Wembley concert, the DVD, the Wembley show.
Dude.
It was at Boondall, and Rat Cat with the support. Rat Cat blew my tiny mind. They were like the loudest band I'd ever seen in my entire life at the time.
So
Heaps of stuff.
You've literally.
I was lucky. I was real lucky. I had
No,
fucking
dude, that is like
pretty cool parents.
that is literally what I want to do with my kids. Like next year, they are
Gotta
coming
do
to
it.
Gymna. They are going up to Queensland. They got no choice. If my wife's not coming, guess what? She ain't fucking coming. The kids are going with
Yeah.
me. Like they got to learn. They got like music is such an international language on such a big scale, and it transfers across not just countries but generations. Like I'll tell you something. The boys messaged me today. All the boys I used to play cricket with, yeah? Like, they're me mates,
Yep.
they're me drinking buddies. I fucking love these cunts to death. Friends of Rom are playing in July, the week before my birthday.
Yep.
Guess who's going to fucking Friends of Rom? And all the fucking boys are going, man, it's got to be...
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh man.
dude, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I love that. I love that all those Aussie bands are still playing too. Like
Oh, but-
Regurgitator are playing heaps. Butterfingers are playing again. And
yeah.
it's cool.
But the weirdest thing is that they're more relevant now than what they were back then.
Mm.
This is what's crazy to me. Like, you want...
Well,
Oh, go. What were you going to
they
say?
came. Well, like I was going to say, like those bands almost came from a time when the music industry had a bit of money still left in it, and they were able to actually take a chance on an artist that was a bit weirder and nurture that and grow them in this thing that become like Regurgitator winning and like tons of arias for a song that has "I Will Lick Your Asshole"
Yes.
written, like it's the title. Like that was an aria winning album. "I Will Lick Your Asshole." So like put that on your Brady brain.
Yeah.
You know, like the music industry is way different now. We're doing, like it's just comic book movies, so it's like everything's got to be safe. It's like, what movie are we gonna make? Oh, we'll just make another Spider-Man because
That's it.
people will go to that.
Everyone's
We're
going to
not
be
gonna-
wrapped up
we're
in
not gonna-
cotton.
Yeah, we're not going to try a
cotton
cool
wool,
news
man.
story. Yeah.
But you
So
know
it's
what?
the same with music. The same with like where the money goes in music. But that's, I mean, you're never gonna. Those bands are never gonna die out. They
No,
didn't go
they're
away.
not,
They're all
because-
still here. The industry just fucked around.
But
Really.
it
So
turns
I
it-
mean, it's still out there. You just got to find it.
It almost turns into a nostalgia piece, but it's like you almost look at, okay, the Stranger Things. I'm going to use this as an example. The Stranger Things thing.
Yeah.
The whole Master of Puppets. Look, that was my first metal album. That was what got me started.
Yep.
Like that album means so much to me. Like that and Korn. Like
Totally.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Huge.
Like, as far as
Yep.
Metallica goes, Master of Puppets means a lot to me. That was my album.
Yeah, right.
That was the one that got me in. Korn was my band that got me into metal as a whole thing.
Yep.
But
Agreed.
look,
I'd be the same.
Yeah, so sort of looking at it now, going into what you sort, we're mature, we're not old, we're mature.
We're regal.
Going into it sort of before COVID, bringing out the double album in the midst of it, 2021, coming out of it now, playing your first show. How do you think the music industry's changed in that last sort of 4-year period?
I think all that's really changed in the last 4-year period is probably all the things that we were suspecting to be true have just now been confirmed as true. Because
Which were?
they were able to, they were just sort of able to limp everything home with how everything was going, but then COVID really put a stop on everything. And now it's like, well, you know, if labels don't have the push and the cash behind them to do all this stuff, it's like, well, it's almost like what is the benefit of the label now? Because once upon a time, a label was like revered and followed because they were a tastemaker. Like if you think about like Sub Pop Records with the grunge scene, like if you were on Sub Pop Records, you were the poppin' band because Sub Pop didn't sign any old garbage. But that is not the record label that we get today. You know, like today it literally, what's the profit margin? How much are we going to have to spend? What's going to be our return? And will this band recoup? And then it's like, fuck it. It doesn't matter if they recoup. We're just going to sign them up to this contract anyway. And we're just going to keep all their stuff forever.
The funny thing is, I actually got into this conversation with PhD. And we came to this conclusion. And that record labels are a necessary evil. Because they keep bands in check. So, in the weirdest way, you look at bands like Beartooth. Okay, so Beartooth have really sort of produced themselves this sort of heavy, punkish metal band. Then they brought out their sort of studio single. So they're independent, as far as I know. I don't know this for sure. But this is where I think record labels sort of keep genres alive. Where they'll turn around and go, say, Roadrunner Records. Yeah? They saw Slipknot for the first time. They would have walked up to Slipknot and gone, okay, we're going to sign you. We want 10 more of these, please. So, we want 10 more albums that roughly sound like this. Keep it in the genre. You go to like Lamb of God. You're not independent. You're on Roadrunner Records. I want 5 more albums like this. Here's your money. Give me 5 more like this. Keep it coming. In some sense, I think they're a necessary evil. I do understand what you're saying because now, after COVID, I think it is more turned into a monetary value of what you can sell. I think pre-COVID, it was more about keeping genres alive, which is why Slipknot.
Definitely.
I think Slipknot's last album, The End So Far, was a little bit of an ode to we're not with Roadrunner Records anymore.
Yeah.
In the weirdest sort of way.
Yeah. No, I think you know there is a necessary part and role that labels play because even if it's just the capital up front to be able to do something, then that's worth everything to a band who has.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
I mean, can you imagine someone coming up to you and just going, "Oh, I'll give you his $3-4 million. Give me, give me like, 4 more albums over the next 5 years." Like, yeah, where do I sign? Like, you guys got the product. That's a big difference, though. You guys got the product. Where do you reckon other bands stand in that sort of niche? Because we picked the fucking niche market.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always found like, you know, you get a scene, and then sometimes like the scene will help cultivate something. like a particular sound, and it's like grassroots, and it grows and it gets a community around it, and then it gets to this event horizon, and then it becomes like this bigger, wider thing that everyone knows about. And now all of a sudden it's like the gatekeeper to bands that are a little bit a little bit more fringe, but they're like, no, that's weird. You can't be a part of this now. You know, like,
because I want to see. This is the one show I want to see. I want to see Synthesizer opening up for Red Hook. I reckon that could happen. I reckon that could happen.
yeah.
Send him your first album. Play a bunch of shit off.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Just be like, listen to this. We didn't play any of this at our last show. Listen to it.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What is an instrument you've always wanted to learn?
Piano.
Everyone
Piano.
says that.
It's my biggest regret not having my parents force me to play some kind of piano at high school, because like I'm just the biggest hack at it right now, because like sometimes some of the notes and chords and stuff make sense, but I just don't have the technical juju to play it.
You'd be right. Everyone says piano, but you know
I buy mono synthesizers because it's just one at a time. So
yeah, but the big thing, you know, everyone that comes on here, there's at least everyone says piano. Although I don't think we've had a stream where someone doesn't say piano. It's because
I think the only reason
it
is
builds so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all the modern tech now that you've got for music creation and stuff, like if you can play piano, like the keyboard is any fucking instrument you want it to be now. It's a drum kit. You know what I mean?
Do you follow Misha Barton? He's a guitarist for Proof.
Yeah.
He does orchestral stuff now all through the keyboard. It is fucking insane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But he even admits to it himself,
He's on
like
that
you just
next
said
level.
there, so that I can't play violin, but I can hear it, so I just need to be able to put it on here, and he can do it.
Oh,
He can write whole pieces.
The tech is getting ridiculous now. There's this plug-in you can get now where you can have just a microphone and you can hum the tune of it, and it will like pitch it out in MIDI.
No.
Like, yeah, it will. You can just hum it out, and then they have one for drums, so you can just be like, and it'll literally put the MIDI drums.
That is
into
no.
the
You
track.
meant to
It does.
go
It
out
does. You
and
can
find
just
people
grab
to
a mic
play in your
and
fucking
you can
bands.
just-
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go and find people to play in your fucking bands. Fucking
It's what sells us.
enjoy
what the label
people's
wants.
company. Enjoy people's company. That's fuck. Look, okay. Next question. Fuck. We get on.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We'll go forever. It's
Okay.
on this.
If you could pick one band or artist to open a show for, alive, dead, any lineup, so any members, like it can be, so you could pick Korn full original lineup.
Any band alive or dead to open for.
Sin SOTO to open for.
Like being selfish, I'd say it'd either be like Faith No More
Ooh,
at any at any lineup.
that's
I don't care what era.
Yeah, that's
They-
true. That's true.
I've always any era of that band is ripping, and I don't know what else. Probably Glassjaw.
Glassjaw?
Yeah,
Who is Glassjaw?
You haven't heard Glassjaw? So
I've never heard
Glassjaw
of
were
Glassjaw.
like Glassjaw were on Roadrunner 2, quite like controversially, because they had a very bad non-amicable split. But Glassjaw were like around that same sort of new metal boom, around that sort of 99, 2000, 2001 kind of era, but they were a little bit more from like the punk hardcore scene, but they got sort of thrown in with all the marketing of the new metal stuff, and they're, I don't know, maybe you could say it's a bit of emo, but I don't know.
Simple
but they're
Plan meets Korn.
No, not at all.
Not even that.
They're closer to Deftones, like
Ooh.
fans. Like if you're a fan of the Deftones, you should listen to Glassjaw. That's all I
Oh,
can say.
I'll
They don't really
listen to
sound.
it.
They don't sound like that band at all. But if you like the Deftones, there is a chance that you
I'm
will
a
like
massive
they're-
If
they're
I'm that much of a Deftones
incredible.
fan, if I could have Chino, if I could physically have Chino's babies, I would do it. Chino, I want
You could
your
just
babies.
ask him. You
I
know.
can't. It'll never happen. It doesn't matter how much I hope or wish, it will never happen.
Worst he could do is not write back.
Yeah, exactly. Chino, come on to this talk music, please. I want to talk to you. I love you.
Yep. You should.
I want Chino so bad. Okay. Who is an artist or band that you are listening to currently that you think is severely underrated?
Oh, holy dooly. Severely underrated. I don't know. All I can think of most recently, and it's not like a small song, but AB Original.
AB
the rap
Original.
group. It's Briggs and Trials. The like AB Original is the hip hop name, but have this song called King Billy Coke Bottle.
King Billy Coke
And-
Bottle. I like it.
And like I just thought it was gonna ruffle when I heard that and saw the video clip the first time. I was like, this is gonna throw a spanner in the works. This is some dangerous shit. But it hasn't. I don't know. I thought more people would like react to like the awesomeness of it.
I'm gonna
It's
have
like,
a look at it afterwards and share
Oh
it.
man, it's like I don't know. They're like the indigenous NWA.
No shit.
Yeah.
No
it's
shit.
Like, it's like America's Most Wanted for Australia. Like Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted, but for Australia. It is so badass.
Give
Like
that
some
another
of the
mention.
stuff.
Who?
Oh man, it's AB Original, and the song is King Billy Coke Bottle,
King
and it's
Billy
like
Coke
the
Bottle.
old it's the old Australian comedian.
Oh, I know exactly what
And
you're talking about.
They've taken the album cover and repurposed it, and they've kind of like, because you can't find the original King Billy Coke Bottle on Spotify, so there's like this whole generation of Australians that if they wanted to go look for it, the one thing that's going to show up is AB Original song King Billy Coke Bottle, and it is just the most badass jam, fuck you jam. Like it's just totally like a badass hip hop gangster jam. But I don't know, some of the lines are like really eloquent. Like some of the
Ooh.
one of the best lines, like one of the best drops about like privilege in
Yeah.
that song. It's just one of Briggs'
I'm
lines. is
checking
really
that out
good.
straight after the stream. Checking that out.
Yeah.
You're not even going to go. I'm going to watch that.
And it wasn't even heavy music or rock.
Yeah,
But
nah,
yeah, but
that's
I was
mad.
just like, whoa. I saw it and I was like, people are gonna shit. Holy, this is amazing. And then like it I don't know. People like it, but it hasn't been like a big.
Doesn't
hoo-ha.
it shit you when shit like that falls by the wayside?
A little bit. I was
Yeah,
like,
it
man,
fucking annoys the shit out of me.
Like, because you know, I have a love-hate relationship with Australian hip hop. I love half of it, and I don't like half of it. And then like
Yeah, I get
when
that.
I saw this, I was like, oh, I can get down with this.
See, I'm a
This is
draft fan.
dangerous and
I love me
badass.
some draft.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
you know, the old Billy Ricard and
Yep.
when he killed him
Draft's got
off.
bars.
And then the second album was like, oh. A lot of Australian hip hop is really, really good. The only problem
Yep.
is there's so much underlining tones of homophobia
Yeah.
and racism.
Yeah.
It just really, like, it's a real fine line.
Yeah.
As much as I love it, I hate it. It's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a line, and
You
it's,
really gotta
can't put
take
your
it
finger on it.
it's a
but
piss take. You really got to take
Yeah.
it as a piss take. It's like Eminem, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how serious can you
Or
take
it's like it's like how like comedians are allowed to be a little
Yeah.
bit more risque, or I think they should have the
The
allowed
platform?
because that's literally like their job. I
Well,
guess.
this is what we were talking about before. You know, if you're gonna create controversy, lean the fuck into it. Like, if you're gonna do it, like,
Yeah.
own it
If
and
you're
lean
gonna
the
back
fuck into
yourself,
it.
back yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the worst thing. Okay. What is something people may be surprised to learn about you?
Ooh. What is something surprising? It's pretty it's kind of boring, really, isn't it?
Doesn't matter.
Um,
we had
I mean, I said the surprising stuff is usually like the the artists that I've already seen live, luckily, and like people seem to be surprised that my mum was a UN peacekeeper and my dad was a cop.
Yeah, your
a
dad
while.
was a fucking 5-0?
Well, he was more like a barrister in New South Wales and had quit before we moved to Queensland, which was before when I was like 6 years old. And then mum stayed working and dad was like the stay-home dad, almost, you know. So
Yeah, he done the hard yards
Yeah.
early. He became barrister in New South Wales, which would have been shitty. Like, shitty.
Yeah. apparently it was pretty corrupt times too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
so
was
what,
like
that would have been back in the early
underbelly
80s,
times.
early
Roger.
80s, yeah.
Yeah,
All
probably.
the bank
Yeah.
robberies, like, all that shit would have been going down.
Yeah, yeah. So, but they weren't like crazy strict or anything like that.
That's good,
But
man. Like, normally you'd hear that rebellious, fucking typical fuck my parents, like, it's very
Yeah.
good that they were nurturing and that you've obviously been able to keep your music going as opposed to most people just going, it's a dead dream.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think I don't know. Maybe they realized early on that I wasn't going to let it go, so it hasn't really been a point of contention.
They didn't have a fucking choice. That's a good thing.
No point. Yeah,
No,
no point arguing.
it's a
Gonna
moot
do it
fucking
anyway.
conversation. What is the cringiest band name or anything you have ever been involved with?
Oh, my bands.
Yeah,
my
anything
first-
from the past, like
first-
that one that you went like, can't believe we fucking called it that.
My first ever high school band was called Wrapped. Spelled
Wrapped.
R-A-P-T.
You didn't even throw the W in there.
No.
No.
R-A-P-T.
Ooh,
It was
that's,
edgy.
that's edgy and
I had a
hardcore.
7-string guitar.
You OG.
Ibanez one.
Did
Yep,
you get the Corn
2000.
Signature Series? Did you get the Corn Signature Series?
No, it wasn't out then. This was
Oh.
pre-signature series. I
Oh.
was like, I had the same one Korn had, baby.
Wow. Have you still got it?
Nah, I sold it.
You fucking.
It had a Floyd Rose, which is like, without getting too technical for everyone out there that doesn't play guitar, it's like a thing that makes your guitar go wah, 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 wah.
I know. I
Anyway,
don't like Floyd
it's,
Roses. I don't. Just,
it does a thing.
just-
It does one thing, but anything else you want to do with it, it sucks. I
Fuck
hate
Floyd Roses.
So
Fuck
I
'em.
sold
Fuck- I don't like them either.
Yeah, they suck. No, but I mean, you know, if you like Floyd Roses, I'm not dissing Floyd Roses.
No,
It's your
I
thing.
am.
You
They
and
get
Eddie
your
Van
guitar
Halen
out of tune
and
heaps
Zach
quick.
Wild.
This shit.
Yeah.
I don't like them. Unless you're a lead
Shit,
guitarist,
and if you have one, you should feel bad because they're terrible.
No. Well, no. If you have one, use it properly and use it adequately.
Yeah,
Don't just have one for the sake of having one.
I just have it because it looks like a hot rod.
Yeah, no.
You got to
I don't
wiggle
like
that
that shit.
stuff. Get the wiggle stick going.
All right.
Wheel it around.
Here's a big one, Cherv.
All right.
The final question for the quick question quarter. What is your most controversial music opinion?
Oh, I am so full of controversial
Yeah,
opinions.
just give me the biggest one.
Controversial and unpopular opinions.
That's what we want. We want all of that.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Here's my biggest one. Triple J should not have digital stations. And hear me out. Because
Okay.
basically the digital stations that they have are Double J, which is old people shit. Unearthed, which is local band stuff. And if you have a place to put those things, you will never play them on the main station because why would you do that? So
When you have digital.
when you have digital. But who's got digital in their car? If you got a Tesla, maybe. But you know, the format's a little bit behind the eight ball, I think. And I think like I wouldn't say it's unfair because they can do what they want, really. Like it's their decision. But the whole playing the audio grabs if we love Australian music when it's off on the other digital station that no one can hear is a little bit rich. And that's my most controversial music opinion.
That explains why we had God, I'm so shit with this stuff. Fuck, I hate my life sometimes. We had a band on last week who said Triple J used to be good. Now I understand why. You've actually given me an explanation. It's because it actually doesn't cater to the niche market of Australian music. They throw everything out there on the digital stations, and then
Well, they had. I
on
mean,
the
either it's
go
like
on.
2 a.m. But it's either at 2 a.m. for 2 hours once a week, or it's on a digital station, and then the rest of the time it's just all those same songs.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But how do you guys find now, like being in, because you guys are very versatile. Are you guys still a 3-piece? And what would you sort of do different on this next upcoming thing, as opposed to the 20 tracks? Because I mean, the 20 tracks are so versatile. What are we going to do different?
I just think it's going to be leaning more into that stuff, I guess. Like, I guess on that album, I feel like they're all sort of like relatively poppy sort of structure songs, and they have little flavors of each, but they still kind of work together as a collection. I think we're just going to lean more into things. So I think if a song is sounding like particularly heavy or stonery or doomy, we're just going to try and do 110% of that, just really lean into that and see how far we can go on that one thing, rather than just have a little sprinkle of that flavor and that in this big goulash of a song. I think we're going to I don't know. I'd like to do that. Like, I think like if we have like a hip idea, like
I'd love to see that.
Not play guitar, and we'll just do a hip hop jam, just top to bottom, just straight hip hop.
And now,
or not. I don't know. Yeah.
Going into the next question, how are you finding the whole doing a 3-piece thing? Because it's very bass driven too. You obviously play guitar. There is no bass player, is there?
There is no bass player, but I have a bit of an unhealthy obsession with guitar pedals. So I have a enormous pedal board in front of me that splits my guitar off into 2 signals, and one gets processed to sound like it's a bass guitar, and then piped out to a bass amp, and the other side of it processes it like a guitar, and that goes out to a guitar amp, and then I can switch those on and off from my feet. So it's kind of like there is a bass phantom bass player over there somewhere.
People are meant to be able to
turn them
do
on and
that
off with
shit.
my foot.
Like, you're not meant to be able to do that shit.
Yeah, the tech's pretty crazy and pretty fun. I like the mad scientistness of guitar pedals.
So how did you learn to come up with that? Like, as a big thing, like...
I didn't learn. It was more like, I don't know, it was more problem solving than learning. You just like, well...
Was that like, I don't want a bass player?
No, it was more like, what is the least amount of stuff we could, or people we could have, and still do it. So, like, we do a lot, all of us on stage. Like, and then I've got like a backing track, that plays just ambient music in between songs when we play a set. That's on the pedal board as well. So, yeah, there's like I'm sort of from my feet, I'm controlling all the guitar and all the bass and the music in between the songs. And then Ronnie, who sits at the back with the kit, he's got like all the samples and stuff next to him. And then Lex is singing, but there's 2 signals coming out of her pedal board, which she has for her vocals. So we do a lot. Like, she's got 2 things to worry about, and I've got 3 things, and Ron's got 2 things. So it's like we. So
when you're on stage, it's like, just get to your corner, sort your shit out.
Yep.
Like,
yep. Plug all the ridiculous
sort of
stuff
loading
in.
Is there any like of those like real fears of like something's gonna fuck up here?
All the time. Every single show
Fuck,
in any
no.
band for me. But that's always like the biggest thing for sure. You just like, I don't think I get nervous about playing the show, but I get nervous about stuff fucking up
Oh,
more
no.
than anything. Because I want to like stay on the vibe, you know, I want to like
Yeah.
hit the first note and just be like, yeah, this is sick. And then just stay on the vibe the whole time. And then if something goes wrong, it pulls your brain out of the vibe for a minute and
Uh-huh.
you do, like just disconnect out of it for a second and it's hard to get back. So I always like to just make sure everything's working.
Yeah, that
But
scares the shit
it's-
out of me. I went to
it's
a
a stress.
show. I went to a show and I'm like, oh, yeah, like everything just crapped out for him.
Mm,
And they had all the laptops and stuff set up, and I'm just like, man,
Yeah,
this takes
it
away from the
sucks watching it,
whole
eh?
show.
yeah.
Like it really does. But so much credit to any band that does it out there and manages
Yeah.
to get it to work on the first go,
Totally. Yeah.
because that's the hard part.
I always hate the thing where it's like people are like, oh, you're using all that tech and you know it's you know, you're not doing it for real. It's just like selling out.
Bullshit.
I don't know, that kind of idea. But I'm like, man, this is 3 times the work of just getting in a room and bashing it out, which
Oh.
I think's awesome, and I love that. But like, this is 3 to 4 times the work.
And
We
I
got to make
could
this
not-
track, that track, different layers, all this stuff, and all this shit's got to plug in and work in harmony
Mhm.
to go out of a PA to sound like a fucking rock show. You know, like it's like heaps more effort. to
Yeah,
do
it is. It is
Yeah.
because at least you got. Like,
But it's rewarding when you pull it off.
Oh, dude.
Mm.
I could only imagine because we
You can
like
elevate your show.
when I was doing the band thing, it was just like we don't use backing tracks. The only thing
Yeah.
because we had the whole ensemble. We
Yeah.
had 2 guitarists, a bassist, a drummer. The only thing that ever got hooked up to anything was the drummer for a backing track, so he had something to follow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was our niche. You know,
For
and
sure.
like people don't understand, like even bands like Periphery, Animals as Leaders, dude, the amount of setup that goes on those laptops to keep everything. Because man, they when those changes come,
Insane. Yeah.
the changes are coming on their fucking ears. Like the
Yeah.
amount of work that goes into working those timings out, that change and all their patches and
Yeah, and how
It's
technical
phenomenal.
all that stuff is. Unless they had all that stuff, they're not. It's not that kind of band. It's not like Caius where you can just like bash it out and be sludgy and it'll still
Yeah.
sound fucking amazing. You know, the louder it is, the better.
mate,
like
if the
the
if the
the
mics crap
Melvins or
out, you
something.
just turn the fucking amps up. Like there's
Yeah.
no house sound.
But even
The
like
only house
Carnival,
sound is the
Carnival
vocalist.
are like a great example. Like all their stuff, like it's totally like when you go and see them live, they're all playing and doing everything live, but it's super like everything's synced and choreographed. It's like really a huge production those guys have,
It's gotta
and that's why
be.
they're huge and so amazing
Yeah.
live. Like they're amazing live.
Well, that's a big thing now. It's almost come to the stage where, like I've said before, you got to be a triple threat. You got to be marketing mogul. You got to be able to pick your niche. You got to be able to sell your music. It's the whole thing of singing, dancing, acting. That's out the window. You can be a band that markets really well, and you can get really far and make it sustainable in a good amount of time. How are
Yeah.
you guys finding balancing the socials and trying to sort of break out into that market?
Well, I guess like we've all been in other bands before, and all of us been through like the ringer in some respect. So it's like, I guess if we're kind of at the point where like we did that album, but unless we've got something to give you, we're not going to be like, hey guys, here's us at McDonald's having a burger.
Yeah, you're having the
Just
same
checking
old
in.
fucking burger.
It's
You're having the
Thursday.
same old fucking cheeseburger.
Yeah, you know, like, and it's just, it's not that there's anything wrong with that because you got, like I said earlier, you got to play the game.
It's a platform.
But we just, I don't know. I just think honesty is a huge part of it too, and it's like it's real hard for us to be honest and have songs about the things that we have them about, and just do menial posts about stuff that isn't important to what is important to us.
Mm.
So, like, I think we're just waiting. Like, it's still there, and we still like keep an eye on it and tend to it and things. But like, it's more like a campaign-based thing, I think, for us. If we had a release ready, you'll see heaps from us.
Yeah, good.
We'll have it all ready to go, and we'll have it timed out and stuff and structured, and we'll execute it. But unless we have something, we're not just going to be like, hey guys, please listen to our old album.
Yeah, I mean, go off the whole Silent Bob method. Don't speak unless you got something to say.
Yeah. And there's nothing, like, I'm not dissing anyone that
No, but
keeps up appearances.
look,
because you have to do it.
You know what? I'm going to say it
do
right
it.
now. There is nothing worse than that when you see that. Watch this space. I've done it.
Mm.
I was in a band. I've done it.
I'm guilty.
I've done it.
I'm
We're all
guilty,
guilty of
definitely.
it, but it sucks.
Yep.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't tell me to watch your space. Just bring it out and tell me to watch it.
My last band, the Mercy Beat from Brisbane, we our second album, I think people were waiting for it for like 5 years.
Jeez. Well, I'm
think
waiting for any release from SOTO at the moment because, I mean, look, like I said, you guys are on a regular playlist at least once a month, once a week. At least something comes on.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like you guys, as SOTO, would be depriving the world of not bringing out more. You've brought us out that platform. I want the house. I want the house.
Yeah. You want the house, you want the gazebos.
Yeah.
Jacuzzi.
Yeah.
We're working on a jacuzzi. The most recent song we've been working on, I guess you could be the jacuzzi of songs.
The single?
Yep. Well,
Wait.
maybe it could be a single.
Ooh.
We've always got a couple in the works.
Because that's all that's killing me. I'm looking at your background. I'm like, there's so much recording potential there. Like, oh my god. Like, where have you guys recorded at? Are you guys thinking about recording everything in house? What's the next recording process for SOTO?
Yeah, like we will usually record in house. Pretty much. And nearly all of the first album was in house too.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't do any of that anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
No one helped.
No, not lying. No. Bryce Moorhead, who is a genius in Brisbane, he mastered it for us. And because it was a real important mastering job, more so than some other bands probably, just because it had been such a long time between all the recording of all the songs that happened. So they were all like a little bit tonally sort of different to each other because of the time and different gear and different space, different room. And he really pulled it together as a collection for us. But
yeah.
up to and including the mastering was all us.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a feat. Like,
Yeah,
that
it
is
was a
that
lot
is
of
an
work.
absolute.
It's a lot of work.
I can't really stress this enough to any band that is watching out there. These guys done so much work. Like 20. Listen. They brought out 20 tracks, 20 video clips. No band I've ever seen has done this. It is not in this local scene. Something like this happens yet once in a fucking lifetime. I will never see anything like this. I personally think I will never see anything like a release like this from a local band in my lifetime. In saying that, and knowing what you guys have sort of brought out, what do you... I know we sort of talked about it and said, like, what do you think is next for SOTO in a serious next 5-year thing? Because my ultimate show at the moment is SOTO opening up for Red Hook. Like, that's what I want to see. Are we aiming for that sort of stratosphere? Like, big things?
We are. We definitely are. Like, yeah, we would almost be like aim to try and partner up with someone and do like a run of shows. So, like, but yeah, I mean, it's all on the table. It's just the way, you know, all we can really focus on when we get together is really just like, you know, the songs and the jams, trying to get them, get us as happy as we can be with them. And then I think once you've got something that's honest and you're proud of it, then the rest of it is easy.
What's the
Like
most honest fucking music
you
I've ever heard?
you know how to market it. If
Yeah,
it's an
well,
honest
you guys
thing
got all that
exists
shit in the
on its own.
bag. Like, it's a matter of time. Like, it's a matter of timing. And the worst part about it is a lot of bands that you hear, timing is like the worst fucking thing for them.
Totally. Yeah.
But you
Timing's
guys
everything.
will, I promise, like, feel it in my guts, in my drunk guts. You guys
Thanks,
will get
man.
there. But we're going to go to the next segment. So we're going to go to the next segment. So this one I told you about a bit earlier. This next one is my favourite segment ever. This one's called the Fuck Off Files. So, Cherv, my friend. The Fuck Off Files are about to start. I'm going to hit the cutaway. The cutaway's hit.
Excellent.
Cherv, if you could fuck off 3 things from the music industry. Bang. Let's snap them fingers. What would you get rid of and why?
Oh dear, this is difficult.
It can be whatever you want. Seriously.
Okay. Campers.
Campers?
I don't know if you know what campers are. That may have gone across people's
No,
heads. But they're
please explain.
They're this amazing little gadget, digital little gadget that you can just plug your guitar into, and it makes all of the sounds.
Oh, the Kempler.
So, yeah. So it
I
just
know what
makes-
you're
it
talking
makes
about.
It makes a sound of a guitar, a real guitar amp in a room with a microphone in front of it, and they're very, very good in certain situations, but everyone uses them locally, and I just feel like sometimes your camper only sounds as good as the PA in the venue, and sometimes great, and you should just bring an amp.
I agree.
Just bring one.
I
You know,
agree.
it's got a speaker. It's going to make noise in the room. People are going to feel it. It's going
Bring
to
an
make the
amp.
floor vibrate. Everyone's going to have a better time.
Just carry the fucking
It's going to
thing.
feed. It's going to feed back when you turn it on. It's probably going to hum when you turn it on. It's going to be all this weird noise, but everyone's going to have a better time
Mhm.
if you bring an amp instead of a Kemper.
You get a
That's my first
vibration.
fuck off.
Mate, look, I can say this as much as I want. I don't have to load gear in anymore. Bring amps. I like amps. I want to see more amps.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you'll never be the real thing. Come on. I mean, the Kemper's just doing a great job of copying the real thing. Can't get rid of the real thing. You got to have both of them that work together.
Oh, I
If you're a
love
big
it,
band,
dude.
if you're playing in a big venue and you got a big old PA, take your Kemper. Be my guest. But if you're playing a teeny tiny little room, like, don't trust that PA.
Oh, I love it.
It's not gonna sound good.
I love it. Thank you,
You
Cherv.
can't trust it.
He speaks truth. He speaks truth. What's your second one, Cherv?
I think I like overdid it with the Triple J thing because that was probably going to be one of my ones about
No,
the
bring it
digital
up.
stations. But that's definitely one. That's just my own like opinion, man.
No, but,
Too,
it's-
so,
but
yeah.
you sort of brought light
It's just
to
what
it.
I think. I
never
mean, like,
sort of
and I know,
understood.
yeah. There's the other argument of it is that more than ever because of the internet and how easy music production is at home. There's just a tsunami of more stuff. There's just way more stuff, so they need more stations to get more out. But I think you gotta still play this stuff on the main station. I think you just
100%.
they just filter it in. Like whatever's popping on Earth or on Double J, you gotta play a bit of it on the main station. Fill a quota or something, just a little bit.
Yeah, play more than Bring Me the Horizon, people. Come on, Triple
Yeah,
J.
because like I remember there's a band I like, the Bronx. they're amazing, punk band from the US. But I heard that on Triple J way back when, and I remember where I was in the car, and I nearly pulled the fucking car over. And I never would have heard it had they Triple J not just played this song. And they back then it was probably a bit more open. It was a bit more like accepted to play something different.
Well, you never had that opportunity just to go over to Triple J or Double J and.
Yeah, it was kind of seen as the weird station. You'd be flicking around stations, and then you had like the pub rock one that had Cold Chisel and stuff on it, and you had the pop station. Yeah, and you had all that stuff. And then when you flipped on Triple J, it was weird. There was weird stuff going on, but it was always something interesting and cool. And you discovered heaps of new weird stuff, and it blew up.
It did,
But now I just feel like because it's either played in a specialist segment at 2 a.m. for 2 hours once a week, or on a digital station that just doesn't get played on the main station. I don't know. I just think it's a little bit.
It's wasteful.
Detrimental.
Wasteful.
Yeah, it's a little bit detrimental to those bands. Like you are giving them that exposure, but it's not. Unless it's accessible to everybody, it's not worth anything.
No, you got to force everyone to fucking listen to it.
Yeah. And that's what I think about electric cars too. The price of electric cars. Unless it's a lovely, honourable idea that we save the environment with these cars, but if they're astronomically expensive, there's no point. It doesn't mean anything. Unless it's accessible to everyone, it's fucking useless.
Go get an MG. my old man's got one. They're great cars. The electric MG. Yep. He just drives it to work and back. They're not good for long distances. Just drive it to work and back. No. It's a daily runner.
It's like Mario. It's like Mario Kart.
Pretty much. Yeah. But see, my dad was smart, and what he used to do after work, he used to go to the local shops and plug it into the fast charger there and get it done for free, and then go home. So there's ways around it,
Yep.
But they're not good for long distances. They're really not good for long distances.
No, I can't imagine there would be. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's all electric. When electric things get hot, they get a bit shit.
Explodey. They get a bit explodey.
I just can't see it panning out very well in a long trip.
But
maybe they'll figure it out.
They will. Eventually, I'll be able to charge my car off my solar panels and just drive everywhere. What's your third one, Jerv?
My third beef. Well, it's probably less with the music industry, but more. This is my just a general beef with live music. So when people move near a live music venue that's been there forever because the area's gotten popular, and then they complain that there's live music there. It's like, well, you probably should have thought of that before you moved in here.
Do you want me to just tell you how it is? Do you want me to tell you how it is? So any people that buy or rent a house near a live music venue, i.e. pub, club, or anything like that, and complains about it, should go play in traffic.
Yeah.
Actively.
And
go play in traffic.
All that happens in those situations is someone complains, and then they go put the kibosh on that poor venue. And then that venue has to install a decibel meter above the stage. And then sometimes they'll put a circuit in there where the decibel meter will actually cut the power on the stage. So the band will be playing, and then it's goes quiet for a sec. And it's like all you're doing is hearing slightly quieter, broken up music at your same house. And I hope you feel better about it. Because if you don't like it, you probably shouldn't have moved here.
Yes. It's
not really an industry thing, is it?
No, that is a good one. I regularly complain about this.
Industry adjacent.
No, this is what we have the fuck off files for. See, we've I'll bring the fuck off files in here. You can complain about punters. Do you know what I mean? The people that listen to the music. But a big pet peeve of mine, personally, is people that buy places near pubs. I actively, if I can ride a bike to a pub, I'll buy the house. But I'm not buying a house right next to a pub for that fucking reason. Because I'm a smart motherfucker. I'm not dumb. You see that?
Liquor license. Going to be people around. They might run a business. Been there for longer than you.
Do you know what I used to do on the walk home to the pub? You don't want to fucking know. I probably stole a garden name from my fucking house. But
Real
that's,
life.
mate,
Real,
that's
real life problems.
well, you know what the thing is, everyone wants to. The live music scene is fucking hard enough as it is. You got pubs and clubs that are literally closing hand over fist about having anything more than 2 people in a band. All they want is fucking acoustic, or like they just want nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so fucking annoying. It irks me to the fucking ends of all fucking ends, because there's so much good music out there. And it doesn't have to be metal. It doesn't have to, like, so much. And they limit themselves. And now, after COVID, somehow it's become harder to get fucking bands to play. How the fuck does that work?
Yeah. It's gotten real. I mean, it's gotten real tricky now, because I guess, that's the biggest topic in Australia at the moment. It's like cost of living. And if you're one of those venues that relies on people being social and coming out and spending the money that they earned during that week on beers and tickets and stuff, just the way everything's going with rent, fuel, all that stuff, maybe you got to go to one less. Yeah, maybe you got to go to one less show a fortnight or a week. But I mean, like, I don't know, people are feeling it hard, and I guess, like, personally, people having issues trying to, like, keep their head above water with money, that's going to trickle down to a lot of those venues, which is going to trickle on the bands, which is going to, like, it's just like this big
It's a washing machine.
Sort of problem.
It's a washing machine.
Yeah.
It's just constantly.
So I think, I mean, all you can do is just be honest and do your own stuff.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Have you guys found booking your own shows?
Rely on any of that.
Like, obviously working with the
little
community
bit,
that
like,
you have.
Yeah, I mean, a really, really, really long time ago, when I was heaps younger, someone told me to only ever work with people that are actually into your band. Not like someone who's like, oh, this guy's really good at admin, and whatever. Like, make sure that the person who you're working with, in whatever respect, is into your band, like, legitimately into it. And I think
Passion project.
And I've kept because CJ had called us for Kaiju. So, I mean, it's CJ. So we're not going to say no. And I really, like, we got to thank CJ, because that was really a catalyst for us to get and play. Because if it wasn't him that called, I don't know if we would have said yes, at the time. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't know. We just like to do things if it feels right and it feels honest, and it's like, it feels like the right thing to do, because there's so much stuff that you can and can't do at the moment. You may as well just really back your instincts and do the things you want to do, and don't do the other things that you don't want to do.
Yeah, well, so it's what it's all
Simple as
about.
that.
You gotta work with Zen. It's all about Zen, If it doesn't feel good, don't fucking do it. Listen to your gut. People need to start listening to their guts more.
They really do. They really do. Because, like, everyone's hard up at it at the moment, trying to get through. So,
we are.
You gotta get what you can out of it when you can. And if you're gonna, like, say yes to something that you don't want to do, or whatever, or it makes it difficult for you, or you're unprepared, or you don't feel right about it, then that's just gonna be this lingering fucking thing that we wouldn't have been able to write any new stuff if that was a lingering thing. You know what I mean? We got to be, if we get together to write some stuff, we can't be thinking, oh, we're gonna make sure we're ready for that show, because it takes your brain off it a bit. So I think, like, we try not to be playing sporadically all the time, but I mean, like, sometimes it's just time to write, and you gotta say no to certain things, because you're making some inroads on the writing, and maybe you could put a pause on it and start rehearsing and do a show, but I don't know if you're going to be able to pick it back up from where you paused it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just get on the flow of something and you got to do it in there.
You got to restart. You just got to hit the restart button.
Yeah, and we got like, we don't sort of feel heaps of pressure behind that last release, but we do want it to be good. We hold ourselves to a certain standard, so we want to.
Well, I'm sorry, anyone's that's heard that double album is going to hold you to a high standard. There's an when is expectation sort of, because as a fan, and seeing the caliber of what you guys can bring out, the expectation is fucking huge. Like, I don't want to be a dick or like put pressure on you or nothing, but I'm sorry, but like I
No
keep
pressure,
saying,
don't fuck up.
no one else has fucking done it. Like, no one else has done what
Yeah.
you guys have done. Like, the caliber of the musicians that, like Alexis. Oh my god!
But I'd probably say no one. I'd probably say no one's done it because, like, if you did look at it on paper and if you did speak to people in the industry, they would literally tell you.
Oh,
"Don't do
you're
that."
fucking insane.
They'd be like, "Oh, well, we're thinking of doing this, and we're going to put it out in the middle of a pandemic." They'd be like, "Don't do that. Just wait." But we were like, "Nah, I'm gonna do this."
No, I do what I want. I do what I want. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Yeah,
I do what
had
I
to do
want.
it. We felt like we had to do it, and it was important that we did it. So
No, so much credit, man. It annoys the shit out of me that more people
I guess
don't
it
know about
sounds
you
like I
guys
don't.
because
Yeah.
the amount of effort that went into the whole thing. We're gonna show you a video clip at the end of this stream. Retrograde, please stick around because we're hitting into the tail end of it now. Have you guys sort of set any pressure on yourselves as a band now, bringing out what you brought out, going into the show, playing literally none,
Not one, not a skerrick.
not
Not a
one
note.
skerrick of the last album?
Yeah.
Have you guys put any amount of pressure on you sort of self? Do you guys feel like there's an obligation at any point to sort of go harder?
Like like being out
Well,
there
I
in
mean,
the scene,
look,
I
it's a
guess,
very
like,
topical.
active.
It's a very topical album. Like it's kind of like
Yeah. I see
from your
what you mean.
shirts to the album, it's very topical. You like it's conversation starter. There's lots of conversations to be had around the album. Is it going to go that political sort of route again, and we're really going to be bringing up those topics again?
I mean, I think so. I think it's always in us, but I also think, we have a great love for Deftones as a band. All of us do. Like, that's probably one band we all really totally agree on. And every time you get a Deftones album, it sounds like them, but they've made a
Big change.
they made a step. They made a step somewhere, and it's still them, but now they're a bit like this and a bit like that. And, like I admire that about them, and I think that's why I like Glassjaw so much as well. I find them to be like that, but they're just like, fearlessly honest with their stuff. I don't feel like they're ever making a decision based on what people are expecting of them, or at least it doesn't translate to me that way.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sure they're aware of it because they like I said before, you got to play the game a bit. But
What do you think of Diamond Eyes?
I liked it. I mean,
Really?
I liked it. It's not.
Wow.
It's not. I liked it, but
I
at
loved
the
it. I
same
thought
time,
it was a
it's
piece
like,
of biblical genius and it could never be surmounted ever again. Like, I love
see,
that
but this
fucking
is the
album.
thing with Deftones, right? This is why Deftones is so great. Like, to me, like, my favorite Deftones albums are like Self-Titled is one of them, with the skull and the roses on it.
Oh,
With
dude,
Minute Zero and,
that had
like,
Hexagram.
needles and pins.
Hexagram.
And, yeah, Hexagram.
Dude,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
a fucking legit I actually have that
Yeah.
CD. I have that CD still.
Yeah, like
Like,
that one's
that's a legit
incredible.
album.
White Pony's amazing, obviously. I really love Adrenaline, the first one.
Yeah.
I like how like nasty and shitty it sounds.
Oh, it's so
almost.
bad. It's so bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I like it because if I'm feeling a certain way, there's something I can listen to from the Deftones catalog. If I want to listen to some nasty thrasher, I can put on Adrenaline. And if I
Yeah.
want to listen to something a bit more chill, I can put on White Pony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I like that about Deftones. I like that it's like,
Versatility.
yeah, and it doesn't have to be there with every band. Like, I like Lamb of God, how they're just like, they do their shit and they do
Oh.
it really well every time. You're going to get what you're going to
You're
get.
a man
and
of
they
my
smash
own
it out.
heart, dude. I love that. Like, you've just
Yeah,
named
but it's
two
like
of my
AC/DC.
favorite fucking bands ever. Deftones, Lamb of God, dude,
Yeah.
those two singers are probably my most influential singers. Like from when I was doing the band stuff and doing the screaming stuff. Randy Blythe,
Yep.
man, Randy Blythe
Yeah,
was
Randy's
where I
insane,
was
hey?
at, man. That guy's just a fucking animal. As far as
Yeah.
my singing went, if I could sing like Chino from Deftones, I'd wet myself.
Yeah. I love all the other Chino stuff too. That he have you
Oh,
listened
Crosses?
Have you listened to Crosses?
Dude.
Yeah, Crosses are the best. Crosses
Did you
are
listen
the
to Team
best.
Sleep?
Yep, love Team.
Yeah, dude, so you were Chino fan. You were Chino
Yeah,
fan
yeah.
like me. Yeah, I love
Team
Chino.
Sleep, Crosses, or like even the little one-off songs that he did with like Norma Jean and stuff. And
Did you see the new one that he done with Polyphia?
oh yeah, I think I did.
Dude, if any person
I thought that was maybe
could
the coolest
sing,
song on the album.
sing full time for Polyphia, it would be Chino from the Deftones. 100%.
Yeah,
They should just get him to do a whole fucking album. I want to hear a whole fucking album with Polyphia and Chino.
yeah. But I don't know if it'll happen because like they'd have to stop playing when he sings, and I don't know if they'd do that.
No,
think
they
they'd still be.
wouldn't.
They'd just be like, doing all that like whilst he's trying to be emotional and convey some nice message.
Oh,
It's
dude.
like
But that's where
tapping
Team
and,
Sleep...
tapping and sliding and using the wiggle stick.
That's
doing
it,
all the
man.
things.
That's where Team Sleep works so well because they give Chino so much room.
Yeah, heaps of space.
Like, I actually caught them... I'm pretty sure I was so off chops, but I caught them at Soundwave. I was cucked.
Yeah.
Like, I was cucked. So I took so much acid that weekend. It was fucking mad. And see,
You saw Team Sleep, you saw Deftones, you saw
I saw everyone that weekend. It was fucking amazing. It was so good.
I saw
Like,
Jesus, I saw
yeah. But dude, like Chino, just to me, Chino can do no wrong. Like, that's just me. Like I said, I'd have his babies if I could.
Yeah, and I mean the cool thing about any of those artists that I really like is like they're just it's them. It's not like their ability that's the thing that impresses you. It's like if you hear Chino on a record, you fucking know it's him. There is no buts about it. His voice is so recognizable and distinct. You don't need to read the liner notes for it to say featuring Chino. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the coolest thing about him on record. Like it's tonally and it's his attitude and his personality that
His
comes
presence.
through. Yeah, and I mean they all got skills. Trust me, all these people got skills. But I mean the appeal, his personality that comes through the track and the tone of his voice because no one else has it, and it's recognized.
It's like Chino and the rest.
Yeah.
I love.
But sometimes you hear those other bands and you can't tell. You know, sometimes you hear like certain stuff in certain genres. And
No, you get a generic ass voice.
Yeah, I'll be in the car and I'll be like,
generic
"Hey
ass
Siri, who's
voice.
this?" You know, you gotta find out.
All right, Chev, we're hitting the tail end. I'd like to ask this question at the end for anyone that's watching later on. If I came up to you, you know, this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 16-year-old with a guitar in his hand, hey Chev, I want to start a band. What's the best piece of advice you can give me starting a band? What would be that advice you would give me at that bright-eyed, bushy-tailed age?
I'd say, if it's like instrument based, I'd say, you know, like love your instrument, be patient with it, but also pick one album, your favorite fucking album, and learn as much of it as you can and play along with it. Because like people playing to a metronome that ticks sucks. It just does. But if you put on a record and you know it backwards, you know every little nuance. Like if it's your favorite record, you know every little bit, every little breath and stuff because you know it backwards. So like if you can play that and play it tight along with the record, it's like practice then. And it's not like an issue for you to do that, and it's enjoyable. If you need that, if you're like diligent and you can sit there and practice all your scales to a metronome and stuff like that and be structured, go for it. But if you're like, the biggest thing with instruments, people quit early because they get frustrated because they're not making inroads. And I think the way you got to look at it is like, you got to love it and just, you know, go on the little journey with it and discover it with stuff that you like. Like, you can get on there and look up all those scales and all that, all the rules and all those things. But I mean, the whole reason you got into music anyway is because of these albums that you like. So that should be your starting point, because it gives you an insight to what your favorite people were doing with their hands. You know,
Dude, that is a first. That is a literal first we've had on that. That is such good advice. Go grab your favorite album and learn the fucking thing inside out.
yeah.
Come and
Learn
think
it
of
backwards.
it. That's what my dad did back in the day. He used to know fucking, I think it was like the first 4 Metallica albums up until Black, inside out, back to front. He could play that shit fucking with his eyes closed.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost think it's like the new school sort of way of things is like the Polyphia thing, which is like real fast and technical, and I love that shit. That's amazing if you can do that. But I think there's a lot to be said about the right hand.
Yeah,
You
get
know,
back to basics.
It's the drummer. It's why AC/DC fucking rule and still rule.
Yes.
You know, like you hear TNT and he's just bashing that riff out.
Yeah.
And it's just amp, no noise gate, nothing. That guy is just playing that amp flat chat, and he's playing it so well that you're hearing all the percussive stuff going on.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's the thing. That's where all the groove is. That's what Pantera rule. You know, like
Hey man, that's the corn rule.
groove.
Man,
Yeah,
look at Korn.
that's why I love
Korn-
hip hop so much.
Dude,
You know, like groove,
Fieldy
it's
from
all groove,
Korn
like
was not a bassist. He was a percussion instrument. He
Hmm.
was there to do the fills that David Silveri could not do. Like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah,
that's
they
what
put-
made
they
Korn
put
what
like
it
a
was.
weird, yeah, they put a weird pickup on his guitar, so it picked up all the clicky noise.
Yeah,
you know, and
it was all
and it
about
hadn't
that
been done-
slap and the click.
Yeah, and like groove, because
Yeah.
like all the other blast metal stuff is all on the one. It's all like da, 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 da. There's no like groove. It's just always,
Give me that half beat.
you know.
Give me
and
that half.
then- Yeah,
100%.
let's groove.
Yeah, and that, mate, Cherv, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really, I want you to show the rest of the band members tonight. I want them on. Me and Raph want them on.
I will.
All right, we're nice
will.
people. We don't bite. We're only on a computer screen. We want them on.
Yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah.
we want you on. Come on,
We'll-
come on, come
We'll
join
do
the
it.
party.
We'll organize it, not on the precipice of Good Friday. I think
Yeah,
there's some things going
yeah.
on this weekend.
That's it.
So-
That's it. I know
Yeah.
it was short notice and stuff like that, but yeah, I really do
Oh, no,
appreciate it, man.
Anytime.
Like,
Really appreciate you having us on.
no, dude, you guys are a wealth of knowledge. Like, if anyone hasn't seen any of the other stuff done, go over to the Beer Buddy channel. Go check out their merch drop that they done. Go check out the other video that I done with Cherv just before the Kaiju Festival. Or it was actually a year before the Kaiju Festival, but these guys are seriously leaps and bounds. And it's no offense to any other band out there. These guys just get the fucking marketing scale. It's just timing that doesn't work in their favour. However, go out. Get on your Spotify. Go type in SIN-SOTO. Sin Soto. Go listen to the whole fucking thing. Seriously, it's a life changer. It's so special. It is a gift to the fucking world. Enjoy it. It is my gift to you. It is their gift to you. Take it, run with it, do what you will with it. But now, here's my sign off. Cherv, don't go anywhere. I'm going to sign off to them. And we're going to talk. Guys, guess what? It's the last week. You're going to have to look at this ugly mug on its own. Next week, we're going to have Raph back. So it's going to be back to normal. Once again, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, don't forget, go over to the Twitch, subscribe, and you guys go into the running for the Gym Now Rocks 2023 tickets, which are right there. They're there. They're real. You're going to go. You're going to go if you fucking join Twitch. And the sign off. Guys, the world's been shitty enough. We're out the other side. It ain't over. But we're allowed to go back outside and enjoy ourselves. So, as I said the last couple of weeks, remember, dance like no one's watching, sing like no one's listening, and love like it's the last day on this fucking planet because you deserve it and everyone else deserves your love fucking around you. Be good to everyone. We are going to put on a fucking video clip for you from SOTO. This is a song called Retrograde. Enjoy. I love you all. See you next week. Take care of yourselves. Cherv, give a big wave. You're on camera. Give a big wave.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, we'll have you guys on anytime you want. We love you all so much. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Enjoy your long weekend, everyone. Take care.
Wu-Tang.
And we'll see you all soon.